Hi guys, I forgot to put in the recording that you needed a 5mm hook for that washcloth. Um, I will try and put this video at the beginning of the tutorial video, so you'll have two greetings. But yeah, you need that, your cotton yarn, and your plastic string. I used Premier Home Cotton and Stitch Soak Scrub and a 5mm hook. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Hi guys, this is Patricia from Yarn and Cat Crochet. I am doing a scrubby dishcloth tutorial. It is a 15 stitches across and 16 rows high, and it's just good enough for my hand if I was washing dishes. If you are someone who has a bigger hand or just likes a bigger dishcloth, just either add more stitches across or add more rows. It's totally up to you. You can make it in the round if you are, knowledgeable about that or have a pattern. But you want to start out with 17 stitches, chains, 2, 3, and you can fast forward this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, and I'm doing this with a cotton string and a plastic mesh. That's Stitch Soak Scrub from lionbrand.com. And this is Premier Home Cotton. And it's in the colorway of, sorry, it is on here somewhere. Oh, orange stripe. Okay, you can use any kind you want. I just picked this kind because I liked how the colors worked out. As you can see, there's orange, yellow, and purple. Very springy-like. And so, we are going to yarn over. Oh, we're not going to yarn over. Sorry, this is single crochet. We are going to start in the second chain from the hook. This is the hook. 1, 2. And we're going to go in, draw up a loop where we have 2 loops, and you're going to want to make this, sorry, hold on, let me get this untangled. This is going to tangle a lot. It's going to be frustrating, so just take your time, take a deep breath. But anyway, you have 2 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over, excuse me, pull through 2, and it's going to be a little hard because of the second meshy string. And you have your first stitch. Go in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're going to want it to be loose. And this is going to curl up because of the mesh. So you can flatten it out though really easy. And if you keep your stitches loose, especially on your first chain, everybody knows first chain is the most hard to hold on to because there's not a lot of rows yet, so you don't have a good purchase on the project. So or a hold rather, sorry. Go in the next loop, and it's not going to be perfect at first, but as you go along and you straighten it out, it'll turn into one of these beautiful ones. So anyway, you just got to keep straightening out with your other hand because it gets tangled. And anyway, go in your next hole. If you're good with a single crochet, then single crochet all the way across and meet me back up at the end of the row, and you know, fast forward through this. But yeah, this is my first time doing a crochet tutorial, as most of you more knowledgeable people have already observed. So I'm nervous, everything is shaking, and you know, having an issue. Let me get this straightened out. But as long as you have a basic knowledge of single crochet and chain, this should not be a problem for. It's a beginner crochet basically, except for you're holding 2 strings, which might be a little bit more confusing for a first time person, but and it is especially hard if you have rheumatoid arthritis. But I did it before, I can do it again. All right, so I made the first one. And I hold things a little bit differently to compensate, so. But as long as you have, and there's where that hanging up I was talking about earlier, the plastic gets tangled. And see how it's curling? So you just have to keep straightening it with your hand. I'm using my new little stand, and I'm bumping it occasionally, so please don't mind the little bit of shaking from me bumping it. I'll try not to bump it as much as possible. But anyway, so this tutorial is basically for people who know already how to do these stitches and can just see a project being done out of this plastic yarn for this dish tutorial. There are a lot of tutorials online about how to do these stitches, how to hold 2 together and all that. So if you need a little bit more help with learning that, then click on one of those first and then watch this video. But anyway, so I got to the end. I'm gonna chain 1 and turn. Now this one's a little bit more easier because we've already got the starting row. We have something to hold on to. It's going to go a little bit better, but you just want to single crochet all the way across. And if you are good with that, you can stop this video and crochet you up your washcloth. But I'll keep going for those that need a little bit more visual aid. Oh, I almost did a double crochet. Single crochet, people. Go in the hole, draw up a loop, yarn over, don't get tangled, pull through 2. This is row 2. You're going to want to do 16 rows of this, and when we get to the end, I will show you how I finish it off. Now, I am not putting a border on these. I'm just using them for my dishes, so I'm not doing anything fancy. But you could put a border on them if you wanted to. I am just going to tie it off and later on weave in the ends. But I tie the strings in a couple of knots because I don't want it to come loose later. We're coming up to the last stitch. And it's going to be a little bit hard because it's that turning stitch. And the yarn is a little thick. But you get it pushed through there, yarn over, pull up a loop, and go through 2. And chain 1. That's your turning chain. Okay, so you see how it's, hold on. You see how it's coming out. And I'm going to do 16. I've got 2 rows on there, so I'm going to do 14 more rows. Basically, just holding the 2 strings together, trying not to keep them tangled, and you know, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It, like I said, it's sure washcloth. You're gonna do dishes with it, so don't stress yourself out. And this one, I mean, it doesn't look as perfect as the one I did off camera because I'm nervous, but I'm not worried about it because it's going to wash my dishes. Give yourself a break. Your first one may not be perfect or pretty. It doesn't have to be. Its only job is to wash dirty things. But at least you can have something more exciting than a yucky sponge to do your dishes with. And if you rinse them out and dry them in between, hang them up to dry, or at least that's what I do. I'm sorry, I'm going to pull that back out. And you will have to do that like a bunch of times because this plastic yarn gets hung up. And see, I didn't even grab the other yarn that time. So go through the hole, pull both strings through, and go through. But anyway, so I hope that at least you got, you know, the stitches, how many stitches you needed, and what material you needed, and how many rows I did for mine if you want to duplicate that. And you can use any colors, any plastic yarn that you happen to find online will work as long as you hold 2 together. And just be patient with yourself. If you're newer, it is a very simple stitch, but if you're new, it might be a little bit more difficult. Sorry. That last one's always harder for me. But anyway, it might be a little bit more difficult, or you might have a disability like me and have trouble with your hands. And so give yourself some time to learn. But that's our 3rd row. We're going to do 16, and it's going to turn out like this. And at the end, on both ends, I've already done it on this one, but I just tie the 2 strings together and make a knot. And I made 2 knots on mine. I'm not going to make another one because I've already got 2 knots on there. And then you just weave it in because, you know, it's not like it's going to be any project where you want it to look all super professional. I just tie it in a couple knots and I'll weave it through out and have my little dishcloth. Like I said, there's lots of patterns. You can go on lionbrand.com, and for the stitch soak scrub that they have a lot of dishcloth patterns, you know, prettier ones. This one's just the basic single crochet, 15 stitches, 16 rows. It fits my hand for washing. I tie a couple of knots when I'm done, weave it in, and it's dishcloth. You could also make up a bunch of these because, see, they're scrubby, but they're not so scrubby they hurt. So they would be good in a spa basket for like loofahs or something if you wanted to do that. And so that's it. Just keep going until you get your 16, and then you'll cut your string, you know, give yourself enough tail, about yay long, and then you just pull your string through and then you have, you know, your end like this, and I tied 2 knots, and then I'll weave it in, but keep it from unraveling while I'm washing dishes in the future. And I did the same thing with the beginning tail. I tied 2 knots, and I'm going to weave it in. But anyway, isn't that cute? That's how that one turns out. Now you can make these look different. I have different plastic yarn. So like if you had a green or an orange, then the cloth colors would turn out different. And you can see how they're woven in there. And they're stuck up enough where they can scrub. So that's it. That's my first yarn tutorial. I know it wasn't the most perfect tutorial, but I hope it gave you guys enough of an idea to at least be able to do this basic one. Give me some tips in the comments below if you, you know, if you have ideas or better ways to do the tutorials. I'm up and open for suggestions. I will be getting a taller thing next time for when I do my hats, because I want it further away from the project. But I feel like this one was perfect enough for the washcloth. So thank you guys. I'll see you in the next tutorial.